Welcome to Flow. Let's get started. Today we'll start off lying down. Bend your knees, bring your feet a little bit wider than your hips, and let your knees knock together. Bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. Allow your eyes to close or find a soft gaze. Take these first few moments to bring your focus to your breathing. We're going to be taking a little bit of time working on internal rotation through your hips today. So this position, we're just finding an opportunity to prime through the hips to get into those positions, and also taking some time to come into the breath. Start to windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Start off with the right. Hold to the right and then hook your right ankle over your left knee. Now you can keep your hands on your torso, or you can expand your arms and open out. So this is a gentle stretch. We may feel this a bit into your quad. And then switch. Let your knees fall over to the left and hook your left foot so it comes outside of your right knee. And again, arms can come wide. You can keep your hands on your torso. Take big belly breaths. Feel your lungs and your belly expand. And then slowly bring yourself back to center. Keep your left foot down on the ground. Bring your right knee up to a tabletop position. Your hands can come down by your side. Start to internally rotate through your right hip. So your right ankle will go slightly out to the right. Hold for about 3 seconds and then release. Maybe find a very easy turned out position and then do this again. And we'll take this about 5 times. Take the time to hold your internal rotation. See if you can push that just a little bit further. And allow your bottom left foot to help you out here. Actively push down into your left foot. And notice how this feels on the first one and on the last one. If you're feeling any opportunity to go a little further in your range of motion, place your right foot down, lift your left knee up, and find the same movement. Internal rotation by bringing your left ankle out to the left, and then just a moment of external rotation just to flush it out and continue. Try to hold on to your internal rotation for an extra moment before you come back to your external rotation. And we'll take about 5 of these total. We're moving nice and slow today. Really want to think of intentional movement, especially as you come into your internal rotation. Notice how your hips move around, what other body parts want to move around. Try to keep everything still and stable except for your left leg. Bring your left foot back down to the mat. Pull your knees into your chest. Rock and roll yourself up to a tabletop position. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Extend your right leg long behind you. Lift your right foot. Flex your right foot and then externally rotate. Turn your right toes out. And then internally rotate. Turn your right toes in. So somewhat of the same motion of finding that internal rotation. We have a little less support now. You must work through your core to keep your lower back supported. And you may start to feel this as becoming a little more activated through your glutes. Just as you were finding on your back, take the time to actually hold your external rotation and notice what happens with your hip. Your right hip may be moving around just a little bit. That's okay. Now bend through your right knee and do the same thing. So internally rotate by bringing your right ankle out to the right, and then find a moment for external rotation. Just this easy kind of shift side to side with the knee and the shin and the ankle. And we'll take about 5 of these, nice and slow, nice and intentional with your movements. And possibly starting to feel some activation into the right glute, and that's okay. After your last one, extend your right leg nice and long. Find neutral here. And then come onto your left side. You can support your head with your left hand. Stack your knees one on top of the other. Internally rotate your right hip so your right shin lifts up. Flex your right foot and then push your right foot up to the ceiling and start to take these tiny little pulses. So this does not have to be a huge range of motion. Again, we're exploring internal rotation. You're probably going to notice a lot more activity or activation happening through the right glute. We'll take about 10 of these little lifts, very small, very controlled. And after the last one, hold and start to take little presses here. We'll take about 10 of these little presses, and after the last one, hold. Feel that internal rotation as you press your foot up towards the ceiling, and then slowly release the foot, release the hip, let it go. Bring yourself back to your tabletop. We'll take all of that on the opposite side. Extend your left leg long behind you, lift your left foot, and then externally rotate your left toes, and then internally rotate your left toes. Now, of course, this rotation that you're finding with the toes is starting from your hip. So sense your femur bone, that's your upper thigh bone. How is that bone rotating? And how are you using your hip to rotate that bone? How are you using the other parts of your body to support this action? Bend your top left knee and find the same thing. Internal rotation, your left knee will come over towards your right thigh, and then the left knee can open to the side. Maintain support through your core. Stay long through the back of your neck if possible. And you can always take that extra moment in internal rotation with your left leg. Find a few more of these. Just getting a little more exploratory into your range of motion. And then extend your left leg, come down to lie on your right side. You can catch your head in your right hand, stack your knees, internally rotate your top left ankle, and push the bottom of your left foot up towards the ceiling, and start to take these small little pulses. Again, these can be super, super small. Notice your left femur bone, what's happening, and what has to change in the hip in order to find this internal rotation. It can feel a little foreign to go so deep into this internal rotation, and that's why exploring this is a good thing, something that your body is possibly not used to. Start to take these little pulses. We'll take about 10 of them. Keep one hip stacked on top of the other. Try to maintain that internal rotation, probably feeling a bit of activation into the left glute. Hold at the top for about 5 seconds. Keep the internal, maybe turn in a little more. And then slowly release the leg, release the foot. And bring yourself up to a forward fold. So walk your feet forward. And then from here, we will find internal rotation in a standing position. So sometimes known as pigeon-toed. Let your toes face in towards each other. Find a bit of a bend through your knees. Allow your spine to be nice and long. Allow your head to drop heavy. And then slowly start to roll yourself up to stand. Again, this may feel a little strange coming up in this turned in position. Once you arrive at the top, release your feet, allow them to point straight forward. Bend your right knee. Catch your right foot with your right hand. Come into a quad stretch. You can reach your left arm up into the air, or maybe you bring both hands around and catch your right foot. Zipper your knees together. Push your hips forward as you dart your right knee down. Feel this length you can create all through the front of your right quad. Breathe into this space. Slowly release and switch. Bend your left knee, catch your foot. Zipper your knees together. You can keep your right hand up, or you can use your right hand to also catch your left foot. Zipper the knees together. Maybe have a bit of a soft bend through your bottom knee as you push your hips forward. Take a few more rounds of breath into this stretch. And then slowly release your foot. Bring your feet so they're hips width distance. Soft bend with your knees. Allow your eyes to close just for a moment. Notice how your hips may be feeling different after exploring a bit of that internal rotation, how you're standing on your feet. And then slowly bend your knees. We're gonna come all the way down to your back. We'll explore a bit more into where we were at the beginning of this session. So we're gonna start with our knees knocking over to the right. Take your right foot and hook it across your left knee so you're coming into a twist. So your knees will fall over to the right. And then you can stay here, or I like to reach my left arm up into the air. This may give you a bit more of an opening into the front of your left quad, or also into your left psoas. Kind of that side body, low belly area. Breathe into that space. Bring yourself back to center and then switch. Take your left foot, Cross it over your right knee. Let your knees fall over to the left, and then option to extend your right arm. You can use your left arm around your belly to help assist a bit with this twist. And then slowly bring yourself back to center. And to finish, we'll set up the way that we began. Bring your feet a bit wider. Allow your knees to knock together. If you're needing a little bit of movement in your hips, you can find a little bit of a windshield wiper here. Otherwise, bring yourself to lie down. Allow your eyes to close. And take a few final moments of stillness and silence with breath. Notice any shifts you may feel in your body. Thanks for joining us. And that's your flow.